kids, it's Pastor Raabe. Well, I want to talk to you about a certain food today and what we do with it. Will I be talking about Easter candy? Look how much is left over from our Easter egg hunt. You may find this in church set out. If you come, you can have a few pieces if your parents allow. Will I be talking about my Asher's peanut clusters, one of my favorite foods? No, I am going to be talking to you about bread. Now, I want you to picture yourself holding a huge loaf of bread. Imagine someone has just handed this to you. What would you do with it? Would you keep it all to yourself? Would you put it down and maybe let the mice come and nip away at it? Or would you share it? Break off a piece and hand it to someone. Break off a piece and hand it to someone else. Make sure that whole loaf gets eaten. I think you might do that. Now let's think of this bread. Do you know what this is? Do you recognize it? It's in a piece of plastic right now. When we unwrap it on Sunday, it is our communion bread. Now, what if I was consecrating this element in worship, and then I said, the body of Christ given for you, and then I just kept it and put it back down and didn't share it? That would be strange. You might think I shouldn't be your pastor if I did that. Well, bread is to be shared, and I want to read you a passage from the book of Acts. That's one of my very most favorite passages. It talks about the very earliest Christian communities. So after Jesus died and when his disciples were encouraging other people to remain faithful to Jesus and to believe in him. This from Acts chapter 2 reads, "Awe came upon everyone because many wonders and signs were being done by the apostles," that is, the disciples. "All who believed were together and had all things in common. They would sell their possessions and goods and distribute the proceeds to all as any had need. Day by day, as they spent much time together in the temple, they broke bread at home and ate their food with glad and generous hearts. And day by day the Lord added to their number those who were being saved." Did you hear what happened? People sold everything they owned, and from the money that they got from selling all their things, they distributed that equally among all the people in the community. So everybody had the same amount and nobody was left with more or less. Here's another passage from Acts 4 that we're going to be hearing in church. "Now the whole group of those who believed were of one heart and soul, and no one claimed private ownership of any possessions, but everything they owned was held in common." Isn't that amazing? Can you imagine a community like that? Well, that's how the earliest Christian church started. And as you heard, that is how more and more people came to believe in Jesus and to grow the Christian church, to make it larger and larger with more people. Well, I think that we can do the same thing with Grace Lutheran Church if we share what we have, if we share our bread with those who have less, if we share our food with those who have less, sharing equally so that no one feels like they have less while other people have more is one of the ways that we can become Jesus in this world, that we call it proclaim Jesus by everything that we do. So be generous, have glad and generous hearts like those first people did in that earliest Christian community, and the Lord will add to our number those who are being saved. Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. God bless you all.